Alright, so let's check this out right here. Come on. So, out of the back, what I'm noticing right away is that this left hip right here, it tends to drop into the circle. When what you want to think of, so the goal here is to get this right hip and leg out around this left side, right? But you mainly do that by pushing this forward. But at the same time, if this left hip is dropping in and the right side is moving forward, it's not going to happen. Your overall balance is not going to be on this left side, but it's going to be dropping into the circle, right? So right here, you can see how you're on the outside of this foot right here and you're dropping in. You'd want to be just slightly over top of this left foot more. And the way you do that is, so if this right hip is coming out this way, right, and you'll see that your leg actually comes, it's long, right, but it's low. So you change that simply by, and you can see how you're dropping in and this left shoulder is down right here. Okay, so you've really got to work to get around and get up into the middle. So what I would want to see is that since this right hip and knee are trying to go this way, you want this left hip to also go that way. So you want the left hip and the right hip to work together, right? Instead of this left hip dropping into the circle and then this right hip going out that way, you want them to work together, okay? It's going to be a little weird feeling, but it's going to be much smoother into the middle, okay? Alright, so from here, okay? So notice that right there, right? But you do a good job here of kind of settling and then thinking about that push up into here, okay? So this is all good. I would say this is all really good. Except what happens is at the front, you tend to just extend this right hip, right? So you're in a good position here. Now what you've got to do is you've got to just drive that right knee and right hip up into the throw, okay? That's what sets the angle. So all you want to focus on at the front is you're not going to pull out with the left arm, which is good. You're not doing that, right? But then take this angle and flip it, and that's the angle that so the angle that you pushed up on out off the left is the opposite of this angle right here, right? And then you're going to push up with the right hip and knee on that same angle, okay? That's how it all works together. That's why you can't drive down into the middle, because then you're just going to shift on that left side. So mainly, you don't have to think about see how that all extends? That means you're just shifting your hip forward instead of up, okay? You need to have every the right knee and right hip going up on the angle rather than just moving forward, okay? So those are the two big things that I really see where, and obviously this is just like an easy throw that you're not going full speed on, but if you can get them hips squared away and not having them fighting against each other, this right leg will come nice and wide and long, and it'll be so much easier to move into the middle, right? And then, so this is really good. Nice and patient there. And then just get that right hip back up on the angle, right? Instead of shifting forward on it. You're kind of going down into it, right? So the right knee is going to rotate down, but the hip has to go up, okay? Alright, so I'm just going to show you, so I guess real quick, you can see at the finish how you're just over top of the left right here. You just shift onto that left, and that's gonna basically just ruin your throw. So your weight is gonna shift over your left, but you're still going to be back over the right when you deliver. Right here, you're just straight up and down right here, okay? So that's not going to be good. All right, so let me show you some Alekna, because I freaking love Alekna, obviously. So look at the difference with his left hip. Watch how his left hip comes. It sort of comes back in this way, right? Just watch this. So as he's moving, you'll notice right here. See how he's more over top here? And his left hip is moving this way while his right hip and knee are moving the same way. See that? That's a different position than what you're hitting right there. It's slightly different. And he's got just a little bit more of the weight over top of his left instead of dropping in, right? So right there, much better position. Okay, and now he's actually balanced over top of the left instead of falling in to the circle. But notice how he's got very much the same kind of push up into the middle, right? He's pushing up onto the angle, same as you are, which is good. But then watch his right hip at the finish, right there. See how it extends all the way up. So the right knee is going down, but the right hip is extending up, and he's still back on his right side here. Okay, see that? See how, look at this angle right here. He's not trying to keep chest up, right? He's not trying to stay back on the right, but that's a reaction to that hip moving up into, so the hip is moving up here, and it's creating the height at the front, okay? But literally, you just got to think of the throw, like, okay, get this motion correct, right? Get that left, instead of dropping in, that left turns and the left hip comes up a little bit, okay? Instead of dropping in here, it comes up in here, okay? I hope you can see my mouse, because I'm using my mouse to, basically, the left hip is going to move away from the sector at first. And then look, all he does is push up on the angle, and then that same thing right here, it's just right hip up. That's the throw from back to front. Is just push up on the angle and then right hip up. And then the right leg, that right leg crossing is really, that's it. It's just the right leg crossing in front of you, okay? The right leg like squeezing into the middle. So that's not really much of a focus, except, you know, the right leg should work. Instead of driving out towards the sector, the right leg drives and squeezes in and around. But yeah, push up on the angle, and then right hip up on the angle. Look at that. Look how everything is extended up through, but he's actually still back on the right side. Let me show you Harding too. Let's see. You know what? Let me show you some more Alekna right here. Okay. So you might be able to see the hip action better here. Okay. So watch. Watch how the left hip moves up and in. See that? See that right there? Up and in right there. And that right leg is nice and high, okay? It's not dropping down. It's going to stay at that level. Okay? And now watch. He pushes up on the angle, right? And then the right hip comes up on the angle. Same thing. See how it's going up this way? And he's still back on the right side. See that? He's got the weight. Look at that. You're up in here. You're up in here. He's back here. That's going to be a huge difference in flight right there. Okay? Now, what's going to cause that is just that right hip. Like I said. I'll keep repeating it. Okay. And then obviously with the left leg at the front, that left leg just grounds and then holds stiff. You know what I mean? So you're just going to extend on it. Extend on it while you're going up into the sector with that right hip. Okay, but that right hip is going to be basically what provides all of. It's going to be that right hip is going to be providing the direction and a lot of the force. Okay, at the front. All right, let me pull up some Robert Harding, since that throw that you sent me was a non. Let me see if I can find Harding's. This is this one. Maybe this one was good. Okay, cool. All right. My computer is the slowest thing you've ever seen. All right. What the fuck was that? Okay. So let's go back a little bit. Same thing here, right? Gets on that. Push up on the angle, right? And now watch the right hip move. Right here, see how he's still back on that? Because all he's focusing on is that right hip and knee going up into the sector, okay? Watch that right there. Look at that. Look how far back he is on that right side, okay? He's not standing up. If he were you, you would be here. His upper body would be right here. Now, as he comes through and finishes the throw, sure, he keeps coming forward, right? But you're basically just standing up and getting to that left side. You never even try to get over that left side. All you do is try to move that hip up. See that action right there with the foot, right there, that shift? That's him pushing up into the throw. Okay? And that's going to be, so those are your two big focuses, is just out of the back, not letting that left hip sink, but rather come up and go on the same path as that right leg is. So that right leg is trying to push out and around, right? So is that left hip. That left hip is gonna go with that right hip. Okay, so keep them together, and then just up at the front. Push up with the right hip at the front, and don't let yourself just go onto your left side. That's why your right leg is extended through here. Okay. That's why your right leg is extended through this finish. Come on. Right. See, it's good here, but then watch what happens. Boom. It extends to that finish because all you do is just go over top of that left side. Okay? You need to keep working that right hip up into the front. Stay back on that angle. Keep working that right hip up into the front. Alright? So, that's all I have for you.